I recently released a video entitled Donald Trump, It's Time to Go on Offense. And I appreciate a lot of the comments that have come in. Actually, I appreciate all of the comments because to me, the comments are engagement and I get SEO points for that engagement. So good comments, bad comments, you agree, disagree, I don't care. To me, it's all the same thing because it just helps to further increase the visibility of this channel. So I do appreciate it. And I will say one thing about this political climate that we are in. It is better to vote for somebody than it is to vote for nobody because you believe that all sides are bad. I get it. We get into whether Republicans or independents or Democrats, we get into heated debates. Oftentimes it devolves into vitriolic comments. I get it. It's a very tough situation. It's a very a conflicted environment. I totally get it. And we vigorously debate our positions. And I respect the Democrats in terms of their right to support their party, to support their candidates, to support their political position. I would much rather you support someone like Bernie Sanders or even Hillary Clinton if it is in fact those are the people that you believe in. If so, I would much rather you take that choice than to just sit like a facile millennial and say, well, both sides are bad, so I'm not going to make a decision. That's the worst cop-out argument that I've ever heard. That cop-out is, to me, the most disgusting form of conduct, of behavior. Because you know what? You have to make a choice. Life isn't easy. Life isn't handed to you. You know what? Most times in life, there's no such thing as a decision that has zero consequences. There will always be a consequence, even if you make the right decision or what you perceive to be the right decision. It's a tough world. You are going to have to hurt somebody's feelings. That's the way that it is. If I vote for Donald Trump and I'm going to go vote for Donald Trump, that's going to piss off the Clinton supporters. That's going to piss off the Sanders supporters. But I can't please all the people all the time. At some point, you have to make a decision. And I don't appreciate this moral equivalence that we are associating by stating stupid, arrogant statements like all sides are bad. I mean, of course, all sides have pros and cons. You have to make the best decision. You have to come to that conclusion. I mean, can you imagine if you made that cop-out argument in any other circumstance in your life, like which house should we buy? Well, both houses are bad. Which school should we send our kids to? Well, both schools are bad. Okay, who do you prefer to date? A guy or a girl? Well, both sexes are bad. Like, what are you talking about? You have to make a decision. This is the one thing that drives me up the wall when it comes to, this whole millennial generation, this whole millennial culture. You've got to stand up for yourself. You've got to make a choice, stick up for that choice, defend that choice, have reasons for that choice, be able to give an account of why you made that choice, and be willing to have people disagree with you, be willing to have people dislike you. Okay? By going on the sidelines and say, well, both political parties are bad, so I'm not going to vote. You know what? You may think that you're not offending anybody, but you are in fact the most offensive person by taking that kind of wishy-washy position, because both political parties will eventually call you out on that and say, well, are you really with us or are you against us? It's the worst thing to be a fence sitter. And yet the problem with this country is that we've created an entire community, an entire generation of fence sitters. I want you to know that, if you want to support Clinton, go ahead and support Clinton. at least have reasons for that. If you want to support Sanders, support Sanders. Have reasons for that. But don't just sit there. You can't just sit there and just cop out on an important, critical decision. You've got to make it. And people are not going to like you for that. There's going to be large groups of people that will viciously disagree with you on the decisions that you make. But you know what? That's life. Life is not given to you, like I said. It is not handed to you on a silver platter. You have to make some ugly decisions sometimes. And sometimes they're going to be decisions that, that are morally ambiguous, that appear morally ambiguous, that, one way or the other, it's going to have consequences. Well, guess what? That's called manning up to the table. You've got to make those decisions. You've got to make that choice, because if you don't, you're going to suffer later as you grow older and as you face even more critical decisions, more critical junctures. If you haven't developed that fortitude today, you're going to be hurting tomorrow.